Okay. Ideally, as children, we are seen, accepted, and loved. What we are is reflected back to us. You could call this mirroring, fed by love, which arises naturally in the mother and father for the child. Our self develops and grows healthily and naturally. This is the Tao, the cycle of life. In this healthy, love-filled environment, we ground into this self, this center from which we can operate in the world. In one sense, you can say we learn to know who we are as this self. It has nothing to do with ego. It is a necessary form of identification, which allows us to be a well-functioning person in the relative level. It's funny because we often talk about identification like being the problem. And here's an example, when we're children in a different context, when the identification is wholly positive and necessary. Knowing who you are at this stage of human life means knowing you are this being, that you have a place in the world. You are the essential goodness of your character, knowing that you have a right to be here. You are valued. You have love to share, talents to fulfill. Later on in your human journey, you may look deeper spiritually and open to the absolute, and know that while that identification is true and relevant in the relative level, it is not ultimately who you are. So your identification with it may fall away or be carried lightly. It may be seen just as the play of life. But as a child, you need to feel this sense of who you are. So when the mirroring from the parents or another love source doesn't happen, when the cycle of love is derailed, absent, or even partially obscured, when we are not met as the love that we are, there is a very different outcome. I was going to say things go drastically wrong, but I didn't want to kind of put that on it wrong. It's more like if you see life as it is, you can say objectively there's a different outcome, which has a lot more suffering involved. We don't come out of it knowing who we are in the sense that I have described. And this leaves us vulnerable and ill-equipped without roots into life. We need love for this natural process of rooting into the self to happen. If it is not coming to us, something in us knows there is something wrong, that we need this thing called love. So our primary objective is to get the love that we are not feeling. It is a primal need. It's instinctive and driven by the survival instinct. So we develop ways to get what it is that we need to survive. We find out that there are ways to act that can maybe help us get the love that we need. We learn that certain actions on our part make the love source angry. And when angry, the chances of getting love from the parent disappears. So we learn to not show that side, to lock it away. If we do certain things, it seems to make the love source happier with us. So we try and do those things. Because we don't know who we are, we become what we think we are supposed to be, what apparently gets us the love that we need. And so we see the birth of the personality.